Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Timothy. For those who don't know, I am the co-creator of Jank Gaming. I help generate the cubes and keep updated with the cubes that we draft here. And today we're actually going to draft our unrestricted cube, which is just shorthand for saying include no rarity restriction. We are playing Historic Cube. We will be playing matches on Arena with some of our community members. We draft this cube every Sunday night, and we just wanted to go ahead and throw a video out there to show people what it's like. A, what our cube is like, and B, what it's actually like to draft on the MTGA draft app here. Shout out to Senryoku for creating this. It's been a godsend for digital drafters on Arena. If you are new to our community, there will be a Discord link wherever you are listening to this where you can find our coordinated events, our scheduled events. And if you are not new, this is what I look like. I think this is the first time I've recorded my face in a while, and I shaved just for this video. So we've got 7 other drafters eagerly waiting here. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're with a lot of our regulars here. I kind of know some of their preferences, what people are interested in. Again, this is an unrestricted cube, no restriction. This is a 360 card cube, so everything will be opened. The archetypes are pretty tight at this point. The power level is pretty high. And we'll see what we get into. I always love first pick and ephemerate because I think the blink decks are super sweet. I did that, I think, last time I recorded, so I'm a little less keen to do it. Chandra, to me, is the standout card in the pack as far as power level goes, so if I wanted to take a card purely on power level, I would take that. Bankbuster or Rafine's Tower would give me a little bit more flexibility. The Ephemerate is calling my name. We've got a Moth Rider Cavalry here, which is a new card that I haven't actually seen. I'm not convinced this card's very good, but some people were excited to try it out. So I think for me, just to not take forever on every single pick, I think this boils down to taking an early Triome or taking Chandra as the most powerful card in the pack, or just taking Ephemerate as one of the cards that you kind of absolutely need to make the best versions of the blink decks. Kind of leaning towards Chandra. The problem with Chandra is I'm not getting anything back from this pack, but I'm also not shipping anything to the left in red. Not that Chandra necessarily has to be like a mono red aggro card or anything like that. It's a good grindy control card. It's just a very well-rounded card, every style of red deck. Let's go ahead and pick it up and see where the draft goes. Goldspan Dragon. Alright, we got some options here. If I wanted to be a little bit cutesy, there's Dreadhorde Arcanist, there's Bomat Courier for the most aggressive version of these decks, and then if I wanted to go like big red, there's Goldspan Dragon, which is not a card I play very often, mostly because I think people value this card extremely highly, and I value it kind of semi-highly. There's Restoration Angel if I wanted to take a blink card and then hope Ephemerate comes back. Gutterbones for a more aggressive black deck, but I think I would stick to Bomat Courier if I was going to take a aggressive 1-drop here, just because I already have the red card. I do have a soft spot for Bomat Courier. I absolutely love this card. You do need to be pretty low curve to make this one work. Bomat Courier is good in the same kinds of decks as Dreadhorde Arcanist, but if I went down that route, started sniping up like 1-mana spells and then Arcanist didn't wheel, I'd be a little bit sad. What do y'all think? There's no chat here, so doesn't matter what you think, unfortunately. Would love to get your opinions. I could take Gutterbones and try to wheel keep a Reckoner Raid and being like some sort of red-black aggressive deck here. There's some good mana fixing in the pack as well. My heart is telling me Goldspan Dragon. Note that we do not play with the alchemy versions or the transmutations, the altered versions of the cards, mostly because we can't. We do have alchemy exclusive cards, but we don't have alchemy retrains, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and just take a low curve card. Let's take Bomat Courier. Feel a little bit aggressive here. Not a good follow-up. Sin Prodder is okay, but I'm not happy to third pick a Sin Prodder, so looks like change of directions. This is a much more powerful pack. We've got some bangers here. Long gone are the days where Ugin was the best card in this cube, but it's still a very good card to build towards. There's Counterspell, which is a pretty clear sign that a blue control deck is going to be open. Thassa as more blink support, Hero of Dominaria. Classic control card. There's also Elder Gargaroth. If I had taken Goldspan, I'd probably take this too. It does lose, these kind of big red-green decks do lose a lot to the Doomblade tribal decks, which are pretty popular, but I don't know, Gargaroth is kind of insane. There's Titan of Industry here too, which is a big new ramp target. Also some aggressive black creatures. I could see a lot of different directions. Gargaroth, Counterspell. I guess Gargaroth is probably the worst to go with the Bomat Courier. I should probably take something a little lower on the curve. I could see Skyclave Shade here. Notably, Chris is not in this draft, so Rakdos might be open. Maybe I just take Skyclave Shade, look to be a little bit lower to the ground, just red-black aggro. Super powerful deck. The alternative is to take like Counterspell and try to be some sort of blue-red control or tempo-y style deck. Yeah, I'm not keen on taking Bomat Courier into a 5-drop, I don't think. So why don't we go ahead and snatch... Oh, there's an Innkeeper too I didn't really pay attention to, as is Cold Steel Heart. There's actually quite a few options I could take here. Alright, take the aggro card. Again, we're feeling a little frisky, we're feeling a little aggressive. Lots of blink cards. Oh, there's Ledger Shredder. This card has been impressive. There is, however, some really good black aggro cards. There's Bloodchief's Thirst. If I really wanted to bank on the Dreadhorde Arcanist coming back, this would be my pick. There's also Voldaren Bloodcaster, which is just a good aggressive creature with some upside, and then Mukutai Soul Ripper, which is a very, very powerful sacrifice piece. I think you're supposed to take Bloodcaster over Soul Ripper unless you know that you're doing like specifically the sacrifice thing. I'm going to take the Bloodchief's Thirst here though. And what are we passing up on? Notably not a lot of white in the pack. There's Isumaru, which is a fine white aggressive creature. Got us a Narset here. I do like the black cards I'm seeing here though, so I kind of like the Skyclave Shade pick. Maybe we drop off red, you don't know, but let's take the 1-mana spell. Let's, fingers crossed, that Dreadhorde Arcanist comes back. Look at this pack. We've got Torrential Gearhulk. We got Prismari Command, which I do love me a Prismari Command. There's a Blood Artist here. Blood Artist is powerful. There's a lot of good green, too. Wow. And then there's Earthshaker Kenra as the aggressive pick in the pack. I'm tempted to take Blood Artist. I did see Voldaren, Bloodcaster, and Mukutai Soul Ripper in the last pack. Don't really have anything that makes me want to take Gearhulk. Ooh, this is a really tough pick. I mean, there's a world where I got to do some pretty nasty green ramp stuff here, but I think I'm shipping that and just taking note that I don't want to move into it at this point. And again, red is drying up a little bit, it seems. I think I'm just going to take the Blood Artist here and see if the sacrifice deck is open. You do need to get a decent number of these, at least 2 to 3, to make the sacrifice deck really tick. And there's, I want to say, 4 of these effects in the cube. There's Spawn of Mayhem here in this pack. There's Dragon Skull Summit. But again, there's a world where I drop off red here. There's Rabbit Battery, which I've softened on a little bit. I'm not super high on the card. There's also some good blue in Baral and Opt. Like, I could see taking the Opt, but I guess Dreadhorde Arcanist in Grixis here with no mana fixing yet is a little skeptical. I think I'm supposed to just take Dragon Skull Summit. Spawn of Mayhem is very powerful for these sorts of decks, but if I go down the sacrifice route, it gets a little bit worse. Alright, let's just take mana fixing. Can never go too wrong with a good mana fixer, and I do like the cards that I have in my pool right now, so I'd like to play them. Okay, so moving into pick 7 here, we've got an aggressive 1-drop, Domri, bunch of mana fixing across a bunch of different colors, some good white aggressive creatures. Sigardan Evangel is a very messed up card. You can read this one real quick if you've never seen it. Spectral Sailor. Not really a lot going on here for kind of where we've already ended up. Domri looking a little off. Does look like my seat wanted to be some sort of green deck, but I think I've passed maybe a bit too much. I could just take Diregraph Ghoul here. Aggressive black 1-drop. One of the mediocre ones, but still gets the job done. Or I could just completely jump ship, take Sigardan Evangel. I think I'm going to take the aggressive black 1-drop here. Not be super thrilled about it. But what do we see? We might get Okiba Reckoner raid back. We might get Knight of the Ebon Legion was sitting around, I believe, in the pack after the Okiba Reckoner raid. But if someone else at the table is doing black aggro. Alright, so this is pick number 8. We've got a Faithless Loot in here. We've got an Undercity Plunder, which is a card I keep wanting to play, but if there's other good stuff in the pack, there's a Memory Plunder, which is really good here. Faceless Agent's fine. And then Young Pyromancer. He's back, y'all. He's back. Don't worry. Young Pyro, not looking at its best here. Might just take Faithless Looting. It's good with these Venom type creatures. It's usually just pretty good to have in your deck. If we pick up like Kroxa or something like that, it's pretty strong there as well. There's still a world where we end up with Dreadhorde Arcanist here on the wheel. Yeah, let's take Looting. My mana got moved around somehow. Alright, opening pack is back. Probably take Eater of Virtue at this point. Just a lot of white cards. Brineborn Cutthroat, not really for this deck. Yeah, let's grab Eater of Virtue, I suppose. It's not great with these recursive creatures. This is the pack that we opened. It had Chandra. There were no other red cards in the pack. So not really a sign from there. Eater of Virtue is obviously better than Bone Splitter, but I think for these black aggressive decks, you actually want Bone Splitter more because you don't want to exile your creatures that often. Here we have a Swarm Saboteur, which is a cool card. I do think I just want the Reckoner Raid, to be honest. This actually pulls its weight just fine. There's also a Zeotor's Proven Ground, which is mana fixin' for red-black. Oh, what are we thinking here? Cool card versus card I think is better for the deck. Probably just take the Reckoner Raid here. Load up on 1-drops. There's a world where we get Lurrus. We open Lurrus pack 2, cut Chandra, and boom, we have a viable Lurrus deck already. Oh, Knight of the Ebon Legion came back. Look at these cards wheeling. I mean, I was considering taking Elder Gargaroth there, like second, third pick or something. There's a Cold Steel Heart, which is great. There's Teferi in the pack. I'm going to take Knight of the Ebon Legion. And again, there's a world, too, where we go something like this, and I would maybe play Bomat Courier off of a splash. Right now, I think I want to be playing these cards. Dreadhorde Arcanist did not wheel. Voldaren Bloodcaster was taken out of this pack, so somebody else wanted a black aggro card. Risk Factor, again, I think Risk Factor is a fine card, but if I'm, you know, keeping the dream alive... Also, I mean, this is just better anyway. Like I said, better sacrifice card than black aggro card, but still puts down the beats pretty hard. Blood Artist looking a little bit worse here. Worse. Torrential Gear Hulk. Ugh. Man, could have had a sick blue control deck of some sort. Alright, well, the table clearly doesn't deserve Torrential Gear Hulk, so they don't get Torrential Gear Hulk. Rabbit Battery. Again, not in love with Rabbit Battery, but probably gets the job done here. We're going to need some mana fixin'. This is a problem with being, like, all in on 2 colors, and aggro is sometimes you draw all of your black sources and your red 1-drops, and vice versa for your black 1-drops. Let's see what we got going in here in pack number 2. So I'm seeing a couple good options. I probably get this card on the wheel if I want it. Not clear whether I want it or not. There's a Midnight Reaper here, which is pretty good. Heartless Act is great, and then there's Kari Zev and Blade of the Oni as good aggressive 2-drops. So question here is, do I want a good solid removal spell, which right now I think I'm looking at Blood Chief's Thirst as my only removal spell, or do I want one of the good aggressive 2-drops? Kari Zev being one of the highest performing cards in our cube, according to our data. I like Blade of the Oni a lot. It does get kind of owned by Kolaghan's Command and Prismari Command, which is funny, but Kari Zev is an above average 2-drop, and Heartless Act is an above average removal spell, so that's what I'm picking up so far. You do need some amount of cheap removal for these decks to work. So I think I'm going to take Heartless Act here. Again, there's a very small world too where I'm not red somehow. I could just end up mono black, which is again a tiebreaker in favor of Heartless Act. And then on the wheel, there's Ronin, Reaper, Karizev Blade. So 4 cards potentially that could wheel out of this pack that I'd be happy with. We'll settle on Heartless Act. Here, well, based on how pack 1 went, I don't think anyone at the table is going to be interested in Shakedown Heavy. I think it's kind of understood that this is a black aggro card. Ooh, Dragon's Rage Channeler, I just noticed. I was going to say I'm going to snap off Rahilda, but there is a Darcy here. Yeah, this might just end up being, like, not a Blood Artist deck. Rahilda is very, very powerful. Darcy's good. A Braid, having just taken the Heartless Act, I feel like I need a Braid or Pillar of Flame a lot less. There's actual Bone Splitter. Rahilda does just steal games sometimes. So I'm banking on wheeling this card, and then I'm deciding between Rahilda or Dragon Rage Channeler. I'm doing more of an aggro thing than kind of like a grindy or not, spells-based thing. So I think I'm going to take Rahilda. The Meat Hook Massacre. It's so hard not to take that card. Xander's Lounge, again, is mana fixing as well. I hate Crystalline Giant. I think this card sucks. I mean, I think it's playable, but I think it sucks. I'm going to take Reckless Stormseeker. Again, this gives up on Lurrus a tiny little bit, but my deck is not poised to be a Meat Hook Massacre deck. This card is actually, even though it's a sweeper, it is pretty good in the Aristocrat style decks because it serves as another Blood Artist, and sometimes you just win by wrathing your own board. This does not look like a Meat Hook Massacre deck to me, so I am going to take Stormseeker, and we're just going to go balls to the wall as aggressive as possible. The only card here that I think would be worth wheeling is Xander's Lounge, which is not going to wheel. Our drafters know what's up with mana fixing, and they especially know what's up with Grixis, which is, like, I think understood to be the best 3-color pair. Really nothing else in the pack that I could take here that's great for me. I guess I could take Giant, but Stormseeker get in the deck. Just expressive iteration. Alright, Haunted Ridge is good. I was eyeballing Hellrider for a split second there, but I think if I intend to play black-red aggro, I just need to take good untapped black-red mana fixin'. And not much else that I'm interested in. Magma Jet on the wheel would be fine. Hellrider would also be good. Hellrider does finish up games, but Haunted Ridge is kind of the responsible adult pick. Eating our vegetables, as they say. Alrighty. And probably the same pick. Oh man, this is a very good pack, and it's a good sign for us. Scrapheap Scrounger is one of the best kind of recursive creatures, and I could see definitely taking that here. Painful Bond got reworked. It used to only shoot you for the more expensive cards in your deck, and now it's the cheaper cards in your deck. There's also Molten Impact, which is kind of like a lava coil that gets better if it deals excess damage. This is not going to be the best deck for this. And then there's Red-Black Mana Fixin'. I think there's also City Stalker Connoisseur, which is really, really good, but it's more of a mid-rangey style card, and my deck's not really looking to be super mid-rangey. I'm going to take the Mana Fixin' here, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that I could certainly play if they do wheel. Scrapheap Scrounger being the best one, and possibly even a card that I should just be taking right now, but you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to take your Mana Fixin'. Woe Strider is not the most aggressive card. It still functions just fine in these sorts of decks. Doesn't look like I'm going to be making a ton of expendable creatures, so Village Rites looks a little soft here. I'm probably going to take Play with Fire. There is a Wandering Emperor going around pretty late. And then Hard Evidence, the 1 blue, just completely dominates these sorts of matchups. This card by itself is just like the best card you can possibly have on turn 1 against these styles of decks. Woe Strider is nice. Like, you could still play this in your aggressive deck. It's just not at its best there. I'm going to take Play with Fire. I think that's a pretty easy pick. Good, cheap removal. Lets you curve out with like a 2-drop into a removal spell on turn 3 and get an attack. Magda is great. Oh, there's also Kolaghan's Command, though. Magda's the more aggressive card, but K-Command is... it's just good, right? You can play this in any style of Rakdos deck, and it's going to be good. It's going to be one of our more expensive cards, but being able to rebuy a creature, make them discard their last card, pop an artifact, you guys know what K-Command does. It's right there on the screen. You can read it, but point proven. I was excited about Magda. I would take Magda in this deck. I'd be happy to play Magda, but I'm going to take K-Command. I don't think I've passed a K-Command in my life. Conspiracy Theorist, Predatory Sludge. If you have not read this card, read it real quick because it's pretty messed up. Also Stone Coil Serpent. Conspiracy Theorist is pretty cool with things like Faithless Looting. I don't have a lot of incidental discard otherwise. It's not the most aggressive body. Sludge is kind of perfect. We're not so deep on removal. It does actually look like we're going slightly grindier here. And again, I don't think Blood Artist is going to be good in this deck. It'd be a good top deck at certain points. I mean, I'm going to take the Sludge. I never get to play with the Sludge. Alright, 2 of the cards we talked about wheeled. There's Reinforced Ronin, which is a mini combo with that Conspiracy Theorist. There's Blade of the Oni, which is going to be my pick. And not much else, right? I like this card. I think I'm doing fine without it right now, so I'm just going to take a 2 mana 3 power creature. I don't know that I've ever seen the reconfigure on this card come up. It reads really cool, right? But at the end of the day, it's 2 mana 3/1 menace. Oh, Darcy came back and Pillar of Flame. Well, I'm going to take Dragon Rage Channeler now. And it looks like it's gotten just as good. It shouldn't be too hard to get artifact and creature in my graveyard. But again, we're leaning like somewhere between. We're definitely off of Aristocrats. That's not really a thing here. And again, Blood Artist is still playable in your black-red sacrifice decks, but it actually just doesn't look that good here. Because I want to push damage, right? I'm playing some pretty low power creatures, so I need to push damage to kind of make up for the fact that I'm going to be drawing cards like this. And playing Blood Artist on turn 2 or even turn 3 or something and not pushing that damage right away is a little awkward. There was one card in this pack we said we could wheel. I guess we'll hate Uro. I'm tempted to hate Mana Tithe because it gets me every time, but I'm going to take Uro. Sorry, whoever's drafting Simic, but I think I'm going to start with Blood Arts down here for now, and we'll see how that all shapes up. One of these packs coming back around, Scrap Heap Scrounger would be the dream, but somebody did take Vulgarian Bloodcaster, so I assume Scrap Heap Scrounger would not come back, but if it did, we won't draft any more cards. We'll just draft what we got. The Magma Jet did come back. Celestis. I like the Celestis, but there aren't very many decks that actually want or need it. I think we've got enough at this point, too, that even if I took Loris, I would just put it in the deck. Alright, so I think this was the pack that had all the red cards, and I think Light Up the Stage was kind of like one of the worst ones, but this does look like a decent Light Up the Stage deck. We are going to go into pack 3 with 21 playables, maybe more. 21. I'll take the playable card out of the pack. I don't hate draft very often, but you are going to play against people in your pod here, so you might as well take a playable card that could kill one of your things over a non-playable card. What do we got for pack 3? Alright. We've got Bone Shards, which is much better in the Aristocrats version of the deck. We've got Valky, which gives us a 7-drop, because our deck absolutely wants a 7-drop, and Valky's just a good 2-drop. That's a joke, by the way. We don't want a 7-drop. We could also take Rankle. Rankle's a good aggressive creature. More of a sacrifice creature, but a good aggressive creature. Tempted to take Valky here. I think I want Valky. Honestly, I think I just want Valky here. Disruptive 2-drop. I don't want too many 4s in this deck anyway. It looks like I'm probably going to try to play like 16 lands or something like that. I don't have a lot of things that I actively want to sacrifice. Not a lot of recursive creatures, so I think Valky gets the nod over Rankle. Ooh, Inquisition is perfect. That's exactly what you want, is the hand disruption. There's also Dread Wanderer. There is definitely another black aggro drafter at this table somewhere. Don't know exactly what their color combination is. They could just be mono black. They could have gotten the worst. Who knows? I'm going to take Inquisition. Hand disruption is fantastic. And that's where we're at right now. We'll see what else comes this pack. Nothing really. I guess Soulscar Mage. I don't want to toe the line too heavily across like the red-black spells spectrum because I don't really have a ton of payoffs for doing that. Judith. Judith's in the house, y'all. Next to that Wrath of God art. Well, this is absolutely a Judith deck because it's Rakdos, and Rakdos decks tend to be Judith decks no matter what you're doing with them. There's also Fatal Push. I think I'm doing okay on removal. Fatal Push kills kind of the same spectrum of creatures that my removal spells that I already have are going to be killing anyway, so Judy can get in the deck. Judy pushes damage. It's kind of like the Blood Artist that I do want in this deck, because it's just a very aggressive slanted card as it is. And I guess if Grim Lavamancer or Fatal Push come back, those are considerations. Not much else in the pack that I would play here, but Judy's good. We're at 24 playables. From this point forward, we've got to be thinking about what's coming out whenever we take a card. Lightning Strike, Kite Sail, Freebooter. There's Light Up the Night. I do have one Planeswalker, technically two, but realistically one. There's some there's some of the speculative new Capenna cards in here that I think are pretty fun cards. I've seen this card almost get there multiple times, but something interrupted it every single time. And then Lugrella is here to, explicitly call out Blank as a deck. We don't play a lot of 3-color cards, so the fact that you're seeing one here, this and Nicol Bolas are the only actual 3-color cards. Probably just take Lightning Strike. Freebooter is a solid card. I don't love it that much. I think Valky's generally better. That's not even necessarily true, but we'll take Lightning Strike. There's Strangle. I love Royal Eruption. If I had Dreadhorde Arcanist, I would definitely take Strangle over Royal Eruption, because obvious reasons, but I do love me a Royal Eruption. Don't think I've ever passed one. Kolaghan's Command, Royal Eruption, make it every single time. I think this is just like, people would crucify me for saying this, but I think Royal Eruption is generally better than Lightning Strike. Because you can always play Lightning Strike as sorcery speed. Yes, there will be like 10% of games where the fact that you cast this at instant speed lets you do something that you wouldn't have been able to do with the Royal Eruption, or gets countered or whatever. But this card deals 5 to your opponent's face by the end of the game. It just kills them. Good options here. We've got Falconwrath Pit Fighter. I think there's a chance that I cut like Rabbit Battery and just go super heavy on black so that I can play my black 1-drops, because my red 1-drops aside from this don't need to be played on turn 1, which makes this less appealing. There's Shatterskull Smashin', which lets me hide a interactive piece in my mana base, which might just be good enough. I'm already at playables. And then there's Dragonkin Berserker as a... I would say this isn't above the bar for 2-drop aggressive creatures. This is kind of like where the bar is at. And then there's the Triome. I have 3 pieces of Mana Fixin'. I would like one more, but I don't necessarily know that I want tapped one. I'm going to take Shatterskull Smashin'. Look, that's just a lesson for these sorts of cubes where everything's pretty high power level and you just end up with tons of playables. I'm already at 25 playables. I've still got, 8, 9 picks left. You should just take cards that upgrade your mana base when you can. Especially at this point. Like, I don't know if add in a Falconwrath Pit Fighter or a Dragonkin Berserker are really going to increase the power level in my deck at this point. Yawgmoth. We talked about this, actually. If you listen to the Deep Dive podcast, and if you don't, go check it out. There are links below. We talked about this exact situation. We did a deep dive on Rakdos, which is completely coincidental. And we talked about how sometimes you're in this black-red aggressive deck. You open a card like Yawgmoth, and it's just not the right deck for the card. Yawgmoth is incredible, but Phoenix of Ashe also pretty good, which we also talked about in that recent episode. Maybe a little bit too much on the 3-drops, but we're going to take the Phoenix. Oh, I love Unholy Heat. It's so good. There's also Bloodthirsty Adversary, but we take Blood Crypt. We absolutely 100% take Blood Crypt. Now we got 4 of our 5 untapped lands. We have 4 Mana Fixers. 4 Mana Fixers is a good spot to be. Now the real question is, what do we end up cutting here? Maybe Magma Jet to start off with. It's a little bit weaker than... we've got good removal. We don't need a million pieces of removal. We just need to get some guys on board, make sure that we keep our opponent's creatures off board and keep attacking. This pack had Rankle in it, I believe, and Rankle is gone. I think I'm going to just take Storm's Wrath so it can't get cast against me. And there's no way I'm splashing white for anything. We've already seen all the cards, so there's no Showdown of the Scalds. Embercleave, we did not see Embercleave. And Bone Shards, we don't need Bone Shards, so we'll just take the Storm's Wrath that could get cast against us. I'll take a Soulscar Mage. There's a world where that's actually pretty good for us. Alright, Magma Jet's going to come out, probably cut a 3-drop, maybe light up the stage. I do tend to like light up the stage in these sorts of decks, but we did pick up a lot of 3s, and we have a 4 here, which makes light up the stage worse. Grim Lavamancer came back. What was the other card in this pack that we were pseudo happy about if it came back? I'm not going to run Lavamancer in the main. It is a good control card to board into against creature-heavy removal light decks. Especially since we don't have something like Kroxa. We're not really using our graveyard much. We might for Phoenix of Ash. I kind of like all the 3-drops. How am I doing on card advantage? Do I have any sort of card advantage? I've got a Faithless Looting, which helps me dig a little bit. Yeah, we're not interested in these cards. There are some worlds where I like to sideboard into like Treasure Map, Maze Mine Tome, even in these styles of decks. Especially if your opponent's just gonna 2-for-1 you over and over again, but I guess I would take Karn for that situation. Actually, I have quite a few artifacts. Karn is not a card I like very much. Still need to cut at least one more card here. We'll deal with that in a moment. I don't really want to get rejected. I've faced rejection many times in my life. I don't plan to face it tonight. Wow, look at that. The 2 aggressive red creatures came back. Which one's better for my deck? I don't really know. Kind of a toss-up. I would normally lean towards the 1-drop here, I think. It's a late game plan, but sure. Wow, last pick Sulfur Falls. Could have just had like a nuts blue-red deck. So I think this is what I'm going to play. I will add in basics off air here, but you will see this video probably as one big thing. I'll probably be editing pieces in and out here, but thanks for joining again. If this is where you stop, if you're interested in coming out and drafting with us, Jank Diver Gaming Discord is the place to do that. There are links wherever you're watching this content. Yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for the draft portion. I'm going to go ahead and get with the rest of our players here, get things coordinated, and I will see you all for match number 1. All right, welcome back, y'all. We're here against Facebeard McBeard. Been with us for a couple drafts now. No idea what the other players are drafting. Talked to them just briefly, but we'll see how it goes. I like being on the play here. I like having 2 different colors. I do not like having 3 of my 3-drops, a 4-drop, and no 1-drop, so I'm wondering if I mulligan this, but it's probably just good enough. Almost anything I draw gets started. I have an interactive piece. I think I just keep this. I mean, it has both colors. It does draw particularly poorly, but we'll see how it goes. Facebeard also taking a mulligan over there. So yeah, lands are fine draws here. They get me to my 3-drops, my Chandra. Creatures are fine here as well. It looks like we got a tough decision on the other side. Alright, blue-black, not exactly where we want to be, but we'll keep up Heartless Act. If we're against a control deck, we're probably not great against those. We got a lot of creatures that just get swept up to sweepers, but we do have our grindier part of our deck here. Suspicious Stowaway. I'm going to go ahead and pop that with a Heartless Act now, I think. I could go Sludge first and then Heartless Act, because I think I'm playing Sludge anyway. Let them get the hit. Then Sludge doesn't have another thing. Alright, we're gonna play with fire here a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this Suspicious Stowaway. So you choose a permanent. As it enters the battlefield, when that permanent goes to the graveyard, you conjure a copy of Predatory Sludge into your hand. So anytime this hits the graveyard from the battlefield, I will make another Predatory Sludge that goes into my hand. But this could, of course, backfire. Oh, we've got double Shipwreck Marsh here. That's interesting. Feels like a mistake. We do not have more than one of these in the cube, so... Probably meant to add like an additional basic. Accidentally added a additional Shipwreck Marsh. Alright, so the thing flips. Awkward spot to be in, because they're probably holding counter magic of some sort. I can't double spell. So I think I'm going to hold up Heartless Act here. If they go for something on my end step, I'll Heartless Act in response. if they just pass the turn and untap. All right, we'll go for it here. I can pay for Spell Pierce. Get another Predatory Sludge to my hand. Unfortunately, my hand is all 3s and 4s, so I can't double spell yet, which is how you get ahead of these sorts of decks. It is worth noting Heartless Act is very unlikely to ever kill this creature. If I go aim at it, they cast a spell, get a +1/+1 counter. I guess I'd do it during their turn, but you get the point. You get the point. This could be like a blue-black tempo deck. We're already seeing 2 creatures. Sweet Dracula lands. Love the Dracula lands. Alright, we can in fact double spell now, so let's go ahead and jam. Probably should have played Phoenix of Ash there, so I'm going to go Sludge into Ghoul. Alternatively, I could go Ghoul into Chandra. Chandra Bite's a removal spell. Kind of like Sludge here. These sludges put on a lot of pressure. Alright, so we 8 counterspell. Go and play Diregraph Ghoul. Opponent does not have any more 2-mana interaction in hand, or at least not a 2-mana counterspell. Another land would be pretty good. Opponent fears nothing. Another land would let me double spell again. That's pretty good double spell as well. Apparently it's nighttime. So I go Phoenix of Ash. And then Night on. Yeah, Night on second main. We took the reject, so this isn't getting exiled. Might just get like Doombladed. Opponent could be holding a Doomblade and we just play black creatures. It's kind of annoying when that comes up, but Doomblade can't catch everything, right? Alright, we got something going on here. Oh, we're bouncing Predatory Sludge to hand. That's interesting. Knight of Ebon Legion will grow here. Alright, keep the pressure on. Otawara coming in handy there. Great cycle of lands. We are playing all 5 of those. We've got a Rafine's Tower. Right, it is nighttime again. So what do we do here? I could... I think I'm going to shock. I could play Sludge first. Mark this. Attack with this. If they block, let the block happen. Get another Sludge. If they do something in response, pump this. Alternatively, I could just play like Judith. Add a bunch of extra damage to the board. That lets this push through as well. I think I like that plan, so let's play Judith, see what happens. Opponent has interaction. And I'll go ahead and run out this Sludge here. Alright, we'll choose your Cutthroat, and not playing around anything here. A removal spell. One removal spell still means that Cutthroat trades for something. Spectral Adversary is pretty good. Still not enough to like eat one of my creatures. Oh, face out Judith. Yeah, that's pretty smart. That takes away the buff, so now you can eat one of my creatures. Take 4 or block with Adversary. Okay, we choose to block. Ooh, we have something in hand we can cast. Fading Hope or something like that would be pretty strong here. No. Okay. I mean, that was a pretty good turn from the opponent. I still have a lot of pressure on. I have a Phoenix that can come back from the graveyard next turn. I have Chandra in hand. In fact, I'm tempted to go play Chandra plus 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me enough mana to play Phoenix. Gives me an idea of what I'm working with if they have counter magic. I guess what I would like to do is potentially use this to just clear off this Brineborn Cutthroat. So I'm going to attack like this, I think. Maybe should have played Bowmat Courier. Yeah, I probably should have just played some hasty stuff. Alright, Thirst for Discovery, grow your thing. Now that eats Diregraph Ghoul. Actually, as it stands, Judith would finish off the Cutthroat. Okay, so I'm going to target this, trying to get them to use a spell so that I can then Chandra. Get them to tap out potentially here. No, that is not tapped out. That is not tapped out. Yeah, so cheap blue-black interaction is what we're looking for here. Brineborn Cutthroat looking pretty strong. Okay. Could also do that. Alright, we got something else here. Negate would be strong. Oh, that resolves. So now what's the deal? Probably just try to kill this Cutthroat, right? Okay. And Sludge makes another Sludge. We keep Bowmat Courier in hand. We've got Chandra they have to deal with as well now. So we're looking pretty good. Opponent did draw 4 cards. Redrew one of their Brainstorm cards. Liliana's going to kill my guys. Guess I should not. Gender my creatures. They're going to kill my creatures. I guess these plus Chandra is enough to just win as is, right? So we plus Chandra, don't do anything. Show no more cards. We decline. Alright. We got game 1. So Liliana Dreadhorde General is not the card that I was expecting there. Blue-black control tempo-ish is what we're looking at. Cheap interaction seems good. Probably bring in Magma Jet. Deals with an early Brineborn Cutthroat, Adversary, Suspicious Stowaway. Might be that I already have enough removal without that. It's kind of the reasoning behind not playing it in the first place. Play with fire kills all those things too. I might just not need it. Do I want the Soul Ripper? I didn't see any of the black sweepers. Grim Lavamancer's probably pretty good as well. On the draw, though. Right now, I'm just looking to see if there are cards that are just, like, generally bad on the draw. Bowmat Courier gets a lot worse on the draw. I could see trimming dorky 1-drop creature for another interactive creature. Bowmat Courier is just so bad on the draw. Alright, game 2. We've got... Well, we're going to come out swinging again. Play Pit Fighter on 1. Rahilda on 2. Think we're good if they don't have sweepers. Pit Fighter hits hardest, so we definitely get that out there. Opponent has some sort of cantrip in hand. Not that many in the cube. We saw Brainstorm last game. There's also Opt, and there is Consider as our 1-mana instance in this card pool. They could have also had like Fate and Hope or something like that, but... Okay, and that's representing Counterspell. Actually, it's representing Baral, Chief of Compliance, which is a good one. Makes me want to play Blade of the Oni instead, because that actually gets through. Rahilda does not get through. Could also play Knight of the Ebon Legion. But we'll play the creature that can attack through Baral. Rahilda 2/2 first strike. Doesn't quite get through a 1/3. Phoenix of Ash is quite good here as well, but I don't have double red for it. Okay, command. Alright, that's potentially really good here. So, they missed a land drop. I'm going to jam with Blade. They flash in a creature. I think we just accept the trade on Baral. I guess they could be holding a 3-mana spell as well, because Baral's a cost reduction. So Spectral Sailor comes down. I'm going to see a double block, yeah. No, we do not see a double block. We saw the fake out block. They could still have Memory Lapse. They can't have Counterspell anymore, though. So I think I'm just going to play some creatures. It's daytime. Alright, that's another blue source. It's not black, notably. Pit Fighter looking pretty miserable here. Although, I guess Bomat Courier looks equally miserable. We bring in Grim Lavamancer. Oh, that's a double striker now. Alright, so we attack with a Blade of the Oni and Rahilda. There's no way I dump the mana into the Knight here. Although Knight trade-in for Spectral Sailor is probably like, okay, I think this just gets in, right? No, they could have Brineborn Cutthroat plus something. But if they do that, then I pump it. Let's leave up Kolaghan command mana. Let you read Rahilda. I assume my opponent's going to interact with me in a way where I don't get to do this, but Rahilda is kind of like a Robber of the Rich. A little bit better in terms of, I think just better overall. Okay, so we're going to see a potential chump block on Rahilda just so it doesn't get cards, and we accept that. Okay. We do get in some damage. Still not playing around like sweep or anything. I think it's okay probably to get Soulscar Mage down here and add to the board. 1 point off from Knight of the Ebon Legion getting a counter this turn. Probably see some sort of draw spell here. Okay, Thassa's Intervention, countering my Soulscar Mage and looting. Fair, fair, fair. Discarding Shark Typhoon, okay. Shark Typhoon would have been excellent last game. It's looking pretty miserable this game. Okay, I mean, they're definitely operating almost fully at instant speed. This is a really sweet deck. It's just, they're not hitting their mana to keep up. Baral attacking, what does that mean? That means Chart a Course. Yeah, that's just to get Chart a Course, right? I mean, am I getting blown out here by something? One mana Chart a Course is pretty strong. Yep. Alright, we got the land. Because Baral's tapped now. Okay, we got the land, and we had to shock for the land. Kaito. Okay, so we have 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. 9, 10, 11. I could go all in here. My opponent has to sweep the board, right? So if they untap, Yeah, if opponent just like untaps, oh, I guess I get Rahilda too. If opponent untaps plays like Crux of Fate, they first off have to have another black source. Meat Hook Massacre would be a different story. Meat Hook for 3 would definitely swing things in their favor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put them to 1 and then try to kill them with Kolaghan's Command because they already have to deal with the creatures. So I think that's what I'm going to do is just put opponent to 1. Yep. Can't attack Kaido anyway. Rahilda got Brainstorm. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Excuse me. Alright, so let's see if there's a sweeper first off. If they have specifically Meat Hook Massacre, I'm probably actually going to lose the game. If they have Crux of Fate, which they can't cast either of those now. So any burn spell does it. Plus they can't take damage from any of my creatures. Alright, they need 5 blockers as well to get through all of these. So the plan is to jam with everything, make the opponent do whatever they've got to do at instant speed and burn them out. Lightning Strike does that as well. So let's see what they got going on. They need to flash in 3 creatures or have 3 ways to interact with something here. I can cast Brainstorm as well, interestingly. Alright, so we got Adversary. Let's see if they pay. They probably pay Blink Out Blade of the Oni. Yep. I'm gonna let him go to blocks, and then I'm gonna go for Kolaghan's Command. I guess, no, I can't play around Spell Pierce. Censor. I can play around Censor. Everything trades across. Well, I kill their board. Oh, and now Baral is gone. So we Lightning Strike. Spell Pierce does stop them from dying. Alright, we got them. They got mana screwed for sure. So, it happens, but Face Beard, good game. To the Watcher, that was a good way to start things off. Maybe not the most ideal draws, but you get what you get. We got the game anyway 2-0, so I don't know what we're complaining about. But anyway, we'll be back for match number 2. See you there. All right, welcome back for match number 2. I should mention before we get into this match here, I meant to mention at the beginning of the video, is that Jank Gaming is partnered with Matcherino. Matcherino is a bracket making website or group that's partnered with Wizards of the Coast. This is all to say that our players, whoever's playing with us tonight, actually wins gems for Magic Arena just by playing this cube. There's no entry fee. You just have to show up, play some cube, do all 3 rounds. You walk away with a certain number of gems. We get to pay out to the top 8 players. After 8 players, unfortunately, we run out of the support to be able to pay out past that point. But if you come join us, there's a good chance that you're walking away with gems for Arena, and all you have to do is come play cube. That's my little spiel, my Matcherino spiel. Thank you, Matcherino. That being said, we're against MTG Darkness, one of our newer players. Don't have a good feel for their style. I've got a perfectly fine, keepable hand. It is going to be soft to Disruption, but we'll see how it goes. I've got a good 1-drop into a good 2-drop. Opponent's going to take a mulligan as well. And Xander's Lounge, another blue-black deck potentially. We'll see how it goes. Let's start off with our Knight of the Ebon Legion and see what kind of deck we're up against here. Again, our last opponent wasn't really like blue-black control. Jadar is very powerful. Play with Fire is a nice draw. I am still jamming here and playing Rahilda. So it looks like we could be up against just another red-black deck, perhaps a more sacrifice-oriented deck. It's the only really color combination I could think here that would want Jadar. They kill Rahilda, I'm definitely up against it. Doomblade, pretty good. But if I get a Predatory Sludge against these zombie tokens is kind of messy. Can I name a token? Yeah. Ooh, that would be gross. I do need to hit a 3rd land though. Otherwise, I'm probably just, maybe I should have done it anyway, is cast Play with Fire and kill Jadar. Okay, we did brick there. I'm really tempted to go Faithless Loot and try and hit my 3rd land. But I could also just play with Fire this, take another hit here, attack with Knight. Valky could take a potential 4-drop out of their hand that might be hard to deal with this hand. Right now I'm taking 2. Rankle would be pretty bad. Alright, let's grab whatever they've got with Valky. They've got 1 mana interaction up, it looks like. So whatever I do take, if I hit a creature here, is probably not lasting. They took my Shakedown Heavy. Alright. Alright. We see where it went. Their hand, Godless Shrine. So they're the full-on Mardu Aristocrats. Village Right's pretty good as well. I'm not blocking with Knight of the Ebon Legion, so we might as well get in there with it. Are they going to Village Rights their zombie token now? Okay. That does save me a little bit of damage, but does draw them into a bunch more action. I mean, we're looking at 3 potential unknown cards here. Third land would have been amazing there. We did not hit it, unfortunately. Dread Wanderer. Well, we found our other aggro player. The Shakedown Heavy is going to be hard to deal with. I'll take a point of damage here. Didn't look like they had much else going on there. Third land drop. Still doesn't cut it. Alright, now at this point, might just want to play with fire this thing. I think I'm going to try and hit my third land drop. Be a little bit greedy here, but I need to hit it to be in this game. Ditch the Diregraph Ghoul. Play land. Am I blocking? There's no way I block with Valky. This holds back this. Take 4. See what they do first. If they play like Rankle, I might just have to kill Rankle. Yawgmoth also be problematic. Yep, so take 4. And then during their second main, if they haven't played something more pressing than Jadar, I will kill Jadar. Maybe with the Heartless Act? And they're not doing anything else? So one reason to not use the Heartless Act here is, A, my opponent didn't play anything, but also I can go like Sludge plus play with fire, which is a powerful line. I don't want to leave myself dead in the water to a giant creature, but they're not going to have that many of them. So let's go for the kill on Jadar. I could turn Valky into a Shakedown Heavy here. At this point we're racing. It looks like my opponent might just be flooded. That's the vibe I'm getting, which makes Chandra a really good play. But Chandra might also be necessary if they're holding like a Hero's Downfall style card. This might be necessary to take care of whatever big creature they try to stabilize with. So I think I'm going to go for the Sludge. And I think I'm going to hold up Play with Fire. Because I can grind them out with Sludges here. Okay, Electrostatic Blast, killing that. And then the next time they cast an instant or sorcery, I could fizzle that. Doesn't seem worth it. I do have Chandra to kill the Shakedown Heavy, which is probably going to be their play this turn. We'll have to keep in mind they have this Electrostatic Blast active. Okay, so that happens. Let's resolve it. And we will shock Dread Wanderer and probably just Chandra this thing. Give me more Sludge. Okay, Swamp does not change anything here. So it's definitely Chandra minus. Attack for 4, grow my Knight of the Ebon Legion. Okay, and we're looking like we're in pretty good shape here. We have the Phoenix to come back as well. Dread Wanderer, probably not going to be relevant for the rest of this game. I mean, I say as my opponent can put it into play right now. This is Bomat Courier, might be better off as 2 damage here. I guess we cast that. Plus Phoenix. 1, 2, 3. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Yeah, opponent definitely hit like 3 lands off of that draw step plus that Village Rights. Good news for us. Good news for us. They are splashing white. I don't think they're splashing blue. I think they ended up red-black, and I feel like I was probably the more dominant red-black drafter, so they had to take some of the tricolor tapped fixin'. They're... It's hard to say if they're more aristocrats, because these are the two aristocrat style cards. This is like a fine shock variant, and then an aggro card here, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly what, but we should plan for like black aggro in general. Not sure that I want to really bring in anything against them. Like Magma Jet's fine. But again, I have a lot of removal already. I don't need to bring in more removal. I could bring in a Lava Mancer. This is good enough against the stuff I've already seen. Alright, I think I'm going to leave things just as is. And Blood Artist I could see being good, especially against Jadar. This might be a good Blood Artist matchup. Maybe, like, I don't want to not be able to block. As good as Skyclave Shade is, I do like blocking. Yeah. I know it's like hearsay to cut a Skyclave Shade from your black aggro deck, but sometimes we need to block. Alright, Darkness. Let's go. Game 2. Draw just as many lands as you did last time. Well, this hand is definitely more sketch. We have a lot of 1-mana spells we can cast. We can actually cast 4 spells, and I'm on the draw, and the opponent's taking them all again. This is the type of hand that I think I'm going to keep. Alright. All I need is a second land. All I need is a second land. Famous last words. I can cast every spell in my hand off of 2 lands. Okay. Gutter Bones. That's not the second land, and our land does come in tapped, so let's see if we get punished here. Go for the Inquisition. Kroxa. Probably get rid of Valky here. Although Valky on turn 2, take your 3-drop creatures, not that bad. Bomat Courier also seems pretty bad. So Kroxa. Yeah, so I'm going to play Valky and hopefully snipe, yeah, hopefully snipe like the Shakedown Heavy or whatever creature they're trying to drop here on turn 3. Okay, their hand's not great. They do have Bastion of Remembrance, which is good in these matchups, though. So, obviously, Inquisition would have gone much better there, but it is what it is, as the kids say. They do say that, too. I've heard them. Alright, another land is pretty good, so here we can go... We go Blade of the Oni, hold up, play with fire. I'm going to jam with Valky. Make that happen on my terms, because it's going to happen anyway, and that way they can't get Gutter Bones back. And then I do this now. That way they have to find another way to get Gutter Bones back here. Alright, opponent has Mountain, 2 Unknowns. Got some graveyard action. Sanguine Brushstroke, so that's another Blood Artist, essentially. Plus a Blood Token. Yeah, they definitely got the Aristocrat style. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, let's see if they notice it. I'm going to go for the Sludge, and if they don't crack the Blood in response, I'm going to choose the Blood. This isn't as it enters the battlefield. It gets people all the time. And my opponent also might not want to sack the Blood, but, yeah. Alright, so now that Blood token, if it hits the... If they sacrifice it, I get another Sludge. This happens all the time with, like, Evolving Wilds. It's not an enter the battlefield trigger, so once it resolves and you choose something, it's too late to, like, sack it in response. Rankle's good. Will my opponent make a sacrifice, though? I do have Heartless Act to go ahead and get rid of Rankle. Okay, they chose Draw. I'm at 10, facing down a Blood Artist. Another black source was quite good. The question is, do I go for the Inquisition here? I'm tempted to go, like, just Blood Chief's Thirst this, Heartless Act this, take my 6 damage. I guess it'd be 1, 2, 3. Attack for 6. How close are we? Not super close to Kroxa. I guess this gets us pretty close to Kroxa. I could end up dying to Kroxa this game. But I think that's what I gotta do. So, black mana, kill Blood Artist. Yep. And then attack with both. I've got to kind of hope my opponent bricks a little bit here. And then we do this on our turn so they can't get Gutter Bones back. And 13 to 7. 13 to 7, opponent has 3 cards in graveyard that aren't Kroxa. Okay, land is good. I like to see land. Thought sees my Inquisition. They lose 2 life for that. Okay, so attack for 6 and then maybe reconfigure? They've got a Stone Cold top deck. If I attack for 6, these both have Menace, so one creature doesn't quite do anything. We'll play that. Alright. They might have to sack the blood token here if they draw a blank. Yeah, sack that blood token. Sludge. Discarded Hellrider. Wow, that's super close. Alright, we get a sludge, they get a redraw. Oh, they also gain a life too, right? Oh no, I lose a life. Right, the blood token makes me lose a life. Oh, alright. Oh, Kroxa's coming back. But unless they have something else, both my creatures have Menace, so... let's just be careful, discard this, and not take the extra damage. That should be game. Good game, good game. Wow. Very tight, very close. Alright, we're back for match number 3. I am playing for the trophy, actually. Myself and Pocket Dave, long-term member, are both 2-0 right now. Playing for the big gems, but mostly the bragging rights. Dave's a pretty good player here. I don't know what he's up against. I will say that observing some of the other matches, once mine were finished in between rounds there were 3 Rakdos drafters at this pod, so makes sense, although they're 3 completely different flavors of Rakdos. What do you start out with here? You start out with Pit Fighter, right? Pit Fighter, and then... Actually, no, we should start out with a black card, because I don't have double black, so I can't double spell these 2, so I should go probably Reckoner Raid to get that going, and then turn to Knight, Falcon Wrath, Pit Fighter. Yeah. Reckoner Raid, getting that flipped as soon as possible. Reckoner Raid on turn 1 does a very good impression of what Dire Graphical was doing. Sure thing, Dave. Oh, that's actually probably even better than playing the Knight here. Let's go ahead and peek at what's going on. We'll play Pit Fighter. Opponent's on a green deck of some sort. Oh, Gruul. Well, we have Chariot to look forward to if I draw, if I can draw my Kolaghan's Command in time. These are going to be some pretty gnarly cards to get through. They do not currently have double green or the 4th land, but we're definitely taking Karizev, and we're going to have to be as fast as possible here. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind Chariot, and then Elder Gargaroth is basically game over. Okay, they drew Zeotor's Proving Ground. Okay. So here, we're jamming for 2. We know we're playing this. We should probably play Faithless Looting. They're going to play Night Augur of Autumn next turn. We play Faithless Looting here, right? Don't necessarily want to loot anything away. It's probably fine. There's Kolaghan's Command. So now, do we play Rahilda? Yeah, this is pretty good. So we've got Royal Eruption. Assuming I ditch these 2, then I don't have the 3rd land. So I could see... Playing Rahilda is pretty good, because then I can Royal Eruption. If I go Boom Boom, I can't play Rahilda. So I need to keep land. Oh, man, that's tough. I could see cutting Royal Eruption and Knight, playing Rahilda and having Kolaghan's Command, but then not having necessarily an answer to the Augur. Oh, that would be pretty bad. But if I don't get through the Augur of Autumn, I still get to attack with the Road Captain next turn. This is a really tough discard. Gonna need to draw something for Gargaroth still. I think it's this. Unless I want to get rid of K command and hope that I can just overwhelm Esca's Chariot, but that never really works out. Because then I go kill Augur of Autumn next turn, attack for 4. They're at 16 this turn, they go down to 12. And then they play Chariot and they're just stable. Or maybe I just don't care about Augur and I want to get another creature on board like Knight of Ebon Legion. We made decisions. We play Knight. We pass. So Augur of Autumn comes down. Gets to kind of live its best life. Land of War Visionary is actually better because, oh man. Well, now I get to K command, but then Chariot's just going to kill me. God, that's tough. I wonder if I wait for him to play Chariot, but then he's going to play Gargoyle, so I kind of need to do it now. This is bad news. This is bad news bears, as they say. So I go 2 damage to this, get back a creature. Making them discard isn't particularly useful. Worth noting that Boseiju can kill the road captain at some point. I guess I can also attack. If they want to trade for Falconwrath Pit Fighter, I think that's okay. If they want to use their turn to kill the knight, I think that's okay. They probably block Pit Fighter, actually, and then I get to keep the Kolaghan's Command and just pump here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. So here comes Chariot, and then I need to draw an answer for Gargaroth, or I probably just die. Alright, they played Augur of Autumn, which is kind of smart. Ooh, do they have a Shock? Shock is so bad. Strangle. That's so bad. That's going to do us in, I think. Unless I draw all Doomblades all day. That's not going to do very much, huh? Good Faithless Looting now. Looking for... Not sure. Just a creature to put on board. Alright, well, let's attack. Get in that damage. Play Bomat Courier. The damage probably matters a lot. Alright. Heartless Act or Bust is what I'm hearing. Glorybringer too. Wow. Well, I don't think I was going to beat this draw anyway. But now we're definitely dead. Chandra's a good draw. It kills this, lets me attack. Glorybringer stays tapped for a turn. I could also just plus deal 2 damage. I guess dealing 1 damage here. Getting the Courier going might be better. Let's go ahead and kill Augur of Autumn, just get in a point of damage here. Ba-boom. Glorybringer unlocked. Yep, there's Gargaroth. That's not going to do it. Heartless Act. Phoenix of Ash, but that thing has reach, right? Game's over. Game's over. Gargaroth managed to live a turn. Yeah, keeping up Kolaghan's Command, getting punished. I don't know if I did the Faithless Looting right there or not. There was just a lot of decisions. Not sure we made the right one. Opponent playing big creatures. Opponent playing big creatures. Soul Ripper looks okay here. Just a way to push through. My removal doesn't match up super well. Like Play with Fire probably comes out. Storm's Wrath? probably not Storm's Wrath. I'm gonna Wrath my own board. I think this is probably just a really bad matchup for me. They have a lot of the stabilizing creatures that are going to be hard to deal with. Valky's pretty good. I don't know if I even changed that much. Blood Artist's probably pretty good against opponent who's stabilizing with big creatures. I'm tempted to bring these in. Ditch like Play with Fire because it just doesn't deal with big creatures. Keep Bloodchief's Thirst. Keep Heartless Act. Keep Lightning Strike Royal Eruption because they go to face. Most of these are pretty strong. Rahilda seems good. Soulscar's manageable. Pit Fighter on the play. I think I want the Pit Fighter on the play. I could see Darcy going here. Has too much of a chance of just blanking and not doing enough damage early on. Alright. Plus, Darcy can be a liability into like an Elder Gargaroth if it has to attack into it. This is a much less aggressive hand, but the Valky could help. The Valky could definitely pick things apart for us. Let's go and get Soulscar Mage down. Play Valky on 2. Opponent's shown us Rahilda as a 2-drop. I think I kind of want to get this down on turn 2, play Valky on turn 3. Assuming I don't draw a third land and just want to like bash with Phoenix or something like that. Opponent has Once Upon a Time? No, we've already seen Once Upon a Time from another opponent, so this comes in untapped. I do think I want to get in for 2, play Soul Ripper, play Valky next turn. Boom. So we'll see what the 2-drop is here. Den of the Bugbearer, good to know about. Whatever it is, they got decisions. Okay, a Narcomancer is pretty tough. Because that one... Yeah, Narcomancer's pretty gnarly. Alright. Chariot, though. Chariot's going to be so bad because Valky can't take it. Alright, let's play Valky. We'll play a tapped Blood Crypt, attack with our Soul Ripper. Let's see what's going on over there. We got Questing Beast, Stone Coil Serpent. Okay, Questing Beast can come down. We've also got Strangle. 1, 2, 3. We have Ugin. Settle the Wilds. Okay, so opponent playing Stone Coil doesn't bother me at all. Opponent playing... I'm going to take Questing Beast. Opponent's very likely going to Strangle because they can go this plus Strangle. They can't play Questing Beast next turn though. So I can't do anything fancy with Stone Coil Serpent. Yeah, I'll take Questing Beast just so they can't play that. And then we'll go ahead and jam here with Soul Ripper for 4. Not sacrificing. Just get a clean attack in for 4 there. And then play a tap land. Maybe I should have played Phoenix, but I'm kind of scared of their hand, so maybe we don't play Phoenix. Not take the extra damage to bluff either. So I imagine we see Settle the Wilds plus Strangle this turn. Could also see a big Stone Coil Serpent, but I think that's unlikely. It's possible we see Strangle plus 2/2 Stone Coil Serpent, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. Yep, there's Settle. That got a 4-drop. Why did... Oh, the animation was weird. It looked like it drew them 2 cards, but it drew a 4-drop. And it's a permanent, so it very likely something like Essica's Chariot. Okay, we have QB coming down. Chandra can cleanly deal with that, though. And it's given my opponent the option to attack with, or play 0/0 Stone Coil Serpent. So this turn, I think we're going just Phoenix, attack. Playing Chandra, killing this doesn't do much because then Questing Beast comes down and kills Chandra. Playing Phoenix just deals 2 to the opponent. Playing Chandra does let me attack with Soul Ripper, though. I mean, what's better here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't quite do multiple things. Could plus. Kind of like Phoenix Jam. Phoenix Jam for 4, right? With Soul Ripper. Maybe get them with Chandra next turn when they're not expecting it. Decline. Put them to 10. Okay. There's an active Phoenix, although they do have Stone Coil Serpent as a potential blocker for that. They also have an unknown 4-drop in their hand. Glorybringer. They could always have Glorybringer too. There's Questing Beast. Do you attack with a Narcomancer? You do attack with a Narcomancer. Okay. And they can still cast a 3-drop, so there's the 2/2 Stone Coil. Alright. Another land is not exactly what we wanted. So if we go Chandra, kill Stone Coil Serpent. Crew this. Let's just say we sack it. That's 5, 6, 7. Guaranteed 7 damage. We go kill Questing Beast. Crew this. We go 4, 5, 6. And then they have to deal with Chandra. This gets to attack though. And then there's the option of going plus. We're a little ways away from Ugin, still unknown 4-drop. I think we kill Stone Coil. Attack with Soul Ripper plus Phoenix. And then force them to have an answer for Phoenix next turn. We're not close to bringing Phoenix back. We know we're doing this. Just what do we do it on? I think we kill the Stone Coil. It's so rough. But I think we just bank on my opponent not being able to deal with Phoenix of Ash. And then just try to make sure we guarantee that damage here. Sack this. Put the opponent down to 3. And then if they have no answer to Phoenix can't kill me, they die. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that doesn't kill me. Essica's Chariot doesn't kill me. Glorybringer and Elder Gargaroth do kind of save the day. For what it's worth, Dave, I would appreciate if you died so that we could get a game 3 in for maximum viewership. Alright. Opponent correctly identifies that their Questing Beast can attack me to kill the Planeswalker. Some people forget about that sometimes. I forget as well. What's the plan? They haven't conceded. They would have conceded. Instant speed interaction does kill me. Okay. Glorybringer. Ooh, Shatter Skull Smashing. That's just enough, right? I can shatter for 4. Oh, yes. I would not have had enough to bring back Phoenix. I guess I could have... Yeah, if they had attacked, exerted, killed this, then I could have paid red, X is 0, just to put in my graveyard. I could have brought back Phoenix, but Shatter Skull is perfect. We're going to deal 1, 2, 3, 4. Kill Glorybringer. Oh, that's not... Hold on. That's not enough damage, right? Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's not enough because I need to pump the Phoenix. Yikes. And if I attack for 2, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually die. Hold on. So if I attack with Phoenix now, they go block. They have to block here. And then I can do 2 and 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't quite kill me, and then I have the means to get Phoenix back. They didn't have an answer for it last turn, but they might be able to push in an extra little bit of damage. So there's something I can do here. Yeah, I think I attack with Phoenix, make them block with Gorybringer, Shatter Skull here and here to kill those two off, and then look to just bring back Phoenix next turn. Alright. We figured it out, folks. Still at the mercy of Dave not having anything next turn. Although cutting it off a Narcomancer means they can't, like, multi-spell or something like that. Ooh, so close to just punting that there. 1, 2. Alright, you're up. Fresh draw. No Gargaroth, please. They do gotta watch out for Soul Ripper as well. I'm not dead to Beast plus Den. They would have to have another red source and a shock or something. Have exactly enough cards to bring back Phoenix. And it comes back. I think we somehow got turned around. Yes! Alright, cool. Thank you, Dave. I'd like to think Dave was holding 3 interactive spells and just wants the game 3 on camera, but... Oh, man. I'm on the draw. Oh, I only won that because I was on the play. Storm's Wrath? Do I want Storm's Wrath? It misses on so many things. Eater of Virtue. Man, I don't see how we win any sort of curve out. Man, the Bowmat Courier again, pretty bad on the draw. I should probably bring in literally anything else. Maybe just a burn spell. Have more interaction for like Llanowar Visionary, Goblin and Narcomancer, plus goes to face. Rabbit Battery seems sketch. I think I will bring in Play with Fire. Alright, have at it on the draw against Hasty Gruul deck that's still sideboarding. Alright, Dave. I need you to stumble on a land. That's what I need, Dave. I need you to stumble on a land. It's possibly like the worst matchup I can think of. My opponent's creatures are just bigger than mine. 4 lands, we have a Soulscar Mage into no interaction and creatures that are potentially smaller than my opponent's. Do we mulligan this 4 lands on the draw? I think we just keep. Opponent capped? Nonsense. Alright, draw a good 2-drop. That's all I can say. It's not a good 2-drop. We lead Soulscar Mage. I mean, alright, Forest though. Forest is something. Unfortunately, I don't have a follow-up play. We're going to go and play a tapped Blood Crypt here. Come out swinging with this thing next turn. Through an Augur of Autumn, potentially. Settle the Wilds goes and gets a land. It hit a forest, did not hit a swamp. And Knight of the Ebon Legion. Okay, so we play the Haunted Ridge. We play Stormseeker, gets in more damage. This deals 2, this deals 4. Target, attack. Alright, don't Gargaroth me, please. Chariot, Quest and Beast. Definitely cards they can cast. There's QB. Alright. Okay, Faithless Luden's a good draw. They didn't have a 5th land either. Well, it's supposed to be a good draw. Yep, pitch 2. Play Judith. Judith is going to, or that's going to pump Soulscar, attack for 4. Actually, I can just attack with this, attack with everything, right? Because then Judith pings the last point whenever a non-token creature. Yeah, so we attack with everything, and whatever gets blocked trades for Quest and Beast. Otherwise, we get a 9. I forgot the pump as well is going to make this so I can just attack with everything. We do have a backup Faithless Looten. We do have a Shatter Skull here as well. Okay. So trade in Judith for a bunch of damage and my opponent's Quest and Beast is nice. Do got to brick that 5th land Gargaroth. 5th land Gargaroth miss. I can haste this and pump it next turn. I'd like to say I played that last turn smoothly because I definitely ended up with the correct line, but that's not... I didn't play correctly. I just accidentally fell into it. Alright, we got 2-drop into 2-drop. It's like a shock or something. Okay. Game on. Got a -1 counter. It's kind of funny. Alright, we're drawing lands, so I pump this, give it haste, attack with all, or do I just... If I attack with all, they just block this. They take 2 down to 7. I get to keep it on the board, though. Alternatively, I can Faithless Looting and just attack with this. I don't have to pump it. Faithless Looting might draw me into a 1-mana interaction that can kill this, keep them off extra mana next turn, since we know their hand is all spells. And I've got cards worth discarding here. Might draw a better creature to haste out. I think we go for the Faithless Looting first. Because I think they... Wow, what? Wow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've seen 11 of our 16 lands. Alright. Well, we will play one of these lands because it gets us closer to a bigger Shatter Skull. Pump that, attack with both. That -1 counter coming in relevant. I assume we probably see a block here if they have a big thing they can resolve, right? Because they could still just resolve it. There have been a lot of tough decisions. Dave always puts on a good show, but there have definitely been some tough decisions this match. Okay, Dave took 4, grew my knight. Let's see what happens. You've got 4, 5, 6 mana currently. A hand full of spells, presumably. The thing that I needed to happen to be in this game happened, where my opponent stumbled a little bit on mana. They didn't find that red right away. But with all that being said, it still only takes like a 2-for-1 type creature to turn this around for Dave. The Gargaroth. Glorybringer even would be pretty good here. If I draw another land, I'll just concede. How about that? I'll draw another land. Okay, we are tapping Visionary first. Okay, Fabled the Mirror Breaker. That's using our red mana for the turn. Into Rishkar. Okay. Yep, that's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. We have an untapped land. Okay, Chandra's pretty good too. One, two, three, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So opponent's going for Ugin, it looks like. Opponent's going for Ugin. I can... This is 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I can do, I can play 4th land. I can Shatter Skull for 4. These both are essentially the same creature. I think well, this one needs to attack to make the treasure. This one just needs to tap, so I think I kill this one. What I'm thinking here is kill this and this. Yeah, kill these two, attack, throw away one of my creatures, put my opponent to 3, and then hopefully like Chandra into some lightning bolt or something like that. Because opponent's probably going to Ugin on their turn. This lets them find something. Hopefully they don't gain life. Do I have an alternative? Not if I think my opponent's going to Ugin. Having this on board post Ugin seems good. So I think that's what I'm going to do. To 2 target creatures. Yeah, I think it's important to get the 2 damage in here. So we're going to go Black Source. I'm throwing away a creature to get in 2 damage and keep my opponent dead to one of my lightning strikes. Excuse me, had a cough there. So playing Shatter Skull Smash in, take these out. Yep. And then attack, pump here, because my opponent wants to get rid of that one. Pump here. 4, 5, 6, 7. They still need an untapped land to cast Ugin, right? So is it more important to have a hasty creature next turn? Whichever one I pump, I guess I can just put them down to 2, right? Yeah, I don't have to attack with both. This keeps them off Ugin. Sorry, another cough there. They can't Ugin this turn, but I didn't get that 2 damage in. I still have the potential play of going like Chandra into Lightning Strike. And discard Explorer Lair. Okay. We still know about a 4-drop, right? There's still a 4-drop in their hand. It's not. They didn't get Quest and Beast off of this? I guess they could have gotten Quest and Beast, right? Alright, Glorybringer's going to go and take my thing down. 1 mana green spell, potentially land in hand, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's land number whatever. So we're going to plus try to find a Lightning Bolt here. Kolaghan's Command, which I did not keep the mana up for, but that's okay. Keeps our... Oh no, I can't cast this, right? Yeah, deals 2. Alright, let's see if they can kill Chandra. They flip Kiki Jiki. Den of the Bugbear doesn't do it. 4, 5, 6, 7. They can cast Ugin, though. And then I have to just stone top deck a Lightning Strike. I'm considering Den of the Bugbear there for a second. Maybe. They can't double Den. For 8 mana, you can double Den, and then you get 2 1/1s. Still pretty sure I just have to draw Lightning Strike. I have Lightning Strike and Royal Eruption. I think those are the only 2 that get it done here. Chandra gives me 2 looks if my opponent doesn't kill the Chandra here. Five mana. Nissa. Does Nissa let them kill Chandra? 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't think so. Because you would have to tap the forest you untap. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Embercleave. Oh. So we just have to draw Lightning Strike. Alright, let's do it. Let's just draw Lightning Strike. We're good. Let's just draw it. Let's just draw Lightning Strike. Heartless Act. This is 8. That's going to make a copy, so that's 8. Alright, we'll see what happens here, but I think Kiki plus Den of the Bugbear is exactly enough to kill me. I also can't kill the Proven Ground. I could remove counters from it, but I couldn't kill it. Yeah, man, so close. Wrong removal spell, by the way. I think this is just too many dudes. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can remove 3 counters from this, but it's still got Embercleave on it, so it's still going to deal 2. I could get rid of 3 counters from this, and then I take 12 here. There's nothing I can do. We got them. Or they got us, I should say. Man, so close. Let's go ahead and kill your mountain out of spite. Get rid of those. Embercleave. I didn't think they were going to be able to kill Chandra there. I mean, a bunch of hasty creatures, right? I had a bunch of outs, too. Not a bunch of outs, but I had outs. We drew way too many lands that game. Opponent died at 3. Played around Ugin there when maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should have got that extra damage in with the other things, but it wouldn't have mattered. We didn't draw the removal spell anyway. Actually, I guess if we had gotten in that extra damage, maybe there was a world where we could have Kolaghan's commanded back a creature from our graveyard, but we didn't quite do it. Anyway, that was a very, very good set of matches. That is last one especially down to the wire. Very good games. One of my worst matchups, but we were so close and didn't quite seal the deal. But anyway, that's going to go ahead and wrap us up for our Unrestricted Cube this Sunday. You can give me any sort of feedback you want wherever you're listening to this. You will probably see a version of this on YouTube as well. If you go to youtube.com/jankdivergaming, you can give us whatever feedback you want. If you want to see more of this, if you want to see it for our Peasant Cube, more Unrestricted, whatever you want, let me know. I would like to do more of this, posted to Cube Cobra, posted to YouTube, and get more exposure for just cubing on Arena in general. And remember, we're partnered with Matcherino, so if you come join us and you make the top 8 of any of our events, our Unrestricted Cube events, then you will walk away with some gems that you can use on Arena for yourself, free of charge. Just come hang out. Join that Discord. That's the best way to help us out, is join that Discord or share this sort of content if you like it. If you have friends who are trying to get into Cube, the Jank Diver Gaming Discord is a great place for it. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this set. I had a lot of fun. I hope this comes out well. I'll do some editing to try and shorten things down. Deck played super nice, and hope you had fun. Let us know what you think. My name is Timothy with Jank Diver Gaming, and I will see you all next time.